Welcome back to DLUXS.com. We're here with Ms. Kim Wiley, owner of AGAPE by Design and certified event planner. Thank you for joining us, Kim. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Nick.
Oh, no worries, no worries. We definitely we have to highlight some of the most prominent and up-and-coming individuals, and you were one of the first people to come to mind. So thank you for granting us this interview today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I'm honored.
Okay, cool. And true to the DLUXS.com fashion, we want to delve right into this interview. Tell us a little bit about your writing and publishing and workshop endeavors. I know that you have a lot going on. I've known you for quite some time, and, you know, you're dynamic is the only word that I can really think of right now. So tell us a little bit about yourself and AGAPE by Design.
Sure, I would love to. AGAPE by Design is a multifaceted business that uses journal writing workshops and event planning services to inspire others. And it really is a business that I'm very proud of. It's something that's in my heart. I'm currently teaching workshops with much success in the community for Fort Wayne Community Schools Neighborhood Connection. I've done that for probably 6+ years now. And the topics that I'm teaching currently are on how to choose your friends. It's called Kindred Spirits. And then I also have a workshop on breaking negative cycles in your life, and that's called Circumstance and Rebirth. And I also teach people how to do life maps, and that's just basically where they are journaling with images. And in addition to that, on the event side of things, I am also doing a lot of events in the community to help bring positive people together. I do have a creative networking group called Link Up, and that's myself, Mike Moses, and Vic Brown, and we bring the arts, a lot of artists, in with the business professionals in town and hold a networking group every third Wednesday of the month. And then I also do a Diva Lounge event, and that's basically where I have professional women, business professionals, come into like a social setting at different area businesses to help promote what they're doing. And the key with that event is they're all positive women that have a foundation of faith and inspiration.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Well, thank you. It's just, really I believe that we're all capable. We all want to be known. We really need to master who we are as individuals and claim victory over everything. And I think if we do that, then love will kill evil and we'll just win.
Wow. Well, I concur. You mentioned two programs that really sparked my interest, and I'll start with the first one. Life maps, journaling with images. How does that work? That's very interesting.
Nick, it's a very, very popular class, especially with men. But it basically is a class where I go in and I bring magazines, scissors, edgers, and canvas boards, which is basically like a canvas on a flat, hard cardboard surface. And I have them go through all of the magazines and tear out images, cut out words that they're drawn to without thinking too much about it, just more intuitive. And basically, once they have done that, I have them place the images, the words, the colors, a part of a hand, an eyeball, onto this canvas board. And what happens is where they place things, how they place things, the colors, the words they choose, it tells them exactly where they are in life and how they respond to other people and maybe what blessings are coming, what things they're getting out of. And it's very, very interesting because I've had so many people tell me that was something that really helped them. And I've been teaching that class for a while now. It's by far the most popular one. It's very powerful.
Wow. And you said it's mainly targeted towards men, or are men just the demographic that typically takes advantage of this program?
Well, men like it, honestly, they tell me because no one ever asks them how they feel, and they're very visual. So it's just really a visual way of expressing yourself, another way to journal, but it's using images. And what happens, Nick, is they have, after that workshop, they leave with a piece of art, if you will, that represents who they are at that point in their life, and they take that home with them because they basically seal it with a sealant, decoupage sealant, and it really kind of turns out very beautiful. So thanks for asking about that.
Wow. How did you come up with that concept?
I pray a lot about my classes before I teach them, and and that was just one thing. I knew I'm not the only one that does that, but I wanted to incorporate it in a kind of a different format and the journaling and the images, and that's what I came up with.
Wow, that's heavy. So basically what I'm hearing is this is inspired.
It is. It's kind of like a vision board, but it's deeper. I want to say deeper than that. I don't know if you've heard of people doing the vision boards and the different things like that, but this is on a deeper level because I actually make them talk about what they see, and it's like the whole class gets involved in what they see that the other person has created, and then what they see and what they've created on their own as well. So it's very interactive, very spiritual, very deep, and very personal, and really a gift. I'm giving them a gift of who they are as a person.
Wow, that's amazing. I've never heard of that before.
Really?
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a program here somewhat, and it's not vision-based, but it's more text-based, called Art from Ashes, and assisted by the name of Catherine O'Neill Thorne, conducts it here in some of the schools, and she has writing prompts and things of that nature, but this is like a whole different animal. Wow, that's very interesting. I would love to see that.
Well, thank you. I can probably send you photos of examples, because I just taught one of those classes, and I do have one that I just created. I do them every 3 months or so, and they always change, which is good because that indicates that you're growing as a person.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Tell us about Kindred Spirits. How does that program work?
That is basically a journal writing workshop on the topic of friends. A lot of us, we choose our friends based on who we are as an individual, and that workshop really focuses on the types of friends you're choosing and why. And we're always evolving. We're all a work in progress is what I believe. But your friends are going to certainly let you know where you're at in life, the things that you're doing right, and maybe the things that you're doing wrong even. And this workshop really kind of pinpoints, okay, look, this is what's going on. And there are a lot of journal writing prompts in that workshop that make you kind of force you to stop and see, why you're choosing the friends that you're choosing, what you think about yourself. Because a lot of your friendships are basically a reflection of yourself and how you feel about yourself. So it's a very interesting class.
Wow, sounds like. Do you feel like that, or better yet, your observations, the outcomes from those classes, how do you think it is more internal or external based, or is it a matter of more or less in your opinion?
It's strange because it's kind of both. It's like a multi-level experience because it's more than just your social friendships. The journal writing prompts that I take people through really kind of pick up on your work relationships, your relationships with your family, your friendships with your, within your social networks, the people you hang out with after work, even your children, how you relate with your children. So, it's very interesting because I think a lot of people don't even think about that, their work relationships or their family relationships or even how they deal with people on their own level outside of work. So,
wow. What brought you along your life path, if you will, end quote? How did you get into this? How did you get to be? How did AGAPE by Design come to be? How did these workshops come into fruition?
Well, I've been through a lot in my life, like most of us. I'm not any different from anyone else, but I, just grew up with a lot of hard life lessons, and, I continue to learn as I'm, maturing too. But in 2004, I was working at a local hospital, and basically I was asked to do a wellness series of workshops, journal writing workshops, and it was basically for all of the employees in the hospital, the whole network. And, I had it on my heart to do workshops because I've always journaled since I was, 10, always written. And I thought, sure, I can do it, because if people give me an opportunity, I try to accept it, because you never know when you'll get that opportunity again. And, of course, I was nervous and uncertain, but I just trusted my heart and, I trusted God to give me the words and the ability to pull it all together, because I knew in my heart what I wanted to teach. And basically I did the wellness series for this local hospital that's very large, and it was very successful. And from that point forward, I had a lot of accolades, in the community, where people were writing articles, asking me to do workshops, in their businesses, for their social groups, et cetera. And 2005, I was someone that served on the advisory board for a local women's magazine, and then I was featured on the cover along with my son, who was a baby at the time, and then featured for my business, which was then called AGAPE, or Aphrodite's Creations. So that tells you the evolution of myself spiritually. But I was also, someone that wrote a regular column for that magazine as well. And the column basically focused on the health benefits of journal writing. So started out in 2004. I just had it on my heart all my life, really, and I had the opportunity come. I believe that we all have opportunities. We have the choice to take them or to let them pass by. And if they pass by, then other ones will come, and we just have to recognize them when they come.
Well, I agree. Fast forward to Diva Lounge. Okay. And I'm just going off with the title of it, because we're talking about writing, kindred spirits, and love and life and introspection. How does that relate to Diva Lounge?
Well, the Diva Lounge, that is something brand new that I came up with, in all honesty, Nick, because I have a friend that I just met recently. I'm a big networker here, and I walked into her store. She owns a retail store for women. It was so inspirational. She's got all these signs on the walls and throughout the store that are very positive, inspirational, and all these accessories, clothing articles, that are, just real positive, crosses, and beautiful jewelry that, would make people feel beautiful, and just, it's a diva's paradise, basically. Well, she shared with me that she wanted to have more people in the store, and that she felt like maybe she was in the wrong place, because not a lot of people came in to really, spend time and shop. And it's a beautiful store, and there's also a back room that looks like a lounge area. And so, my mind, the visionary that I am, my wheels are turning, and I basically asked her, if if it's okay, I would love to help you bring people in the store. I think I can do that, and this is my idea. And so I typed up a business proposal. That's my business background. And I gave it to her, and the Diva Lounge was one of the events that I proposed to her, and it was basically a breakdown on how I wanted to present that as an event, a special event for her store. And she loved it, and our first event is this Friday, actually. And we have a lot of interest. We're going to do a lot of fun things and provide refreshments, a little wine, and just try to feature a female business owner and give them discounts to shop in the store. So that's basically what that's about. It's just really to promote women in business that are very inspirational and have a foundation of love and, positivity. That's basically what that is.
Wow. So what do you envision? And while it's an honor to be able to help debut that. I didn't know that it was so new, but it's definitely an honor to help debut that. And take it a little bit further. What are some of the outcomes? I mean, of course, the networking piece, and for us to be familiar with what fellow business owners are doing, and in this context, it's African American women. Mm-hmm. What are some of the far-reaching goals, if you had a wish bucket, if you will, for the Diva Lounge? What would you like to see? And I guess I would say, as an African American woman, because it sounds like you're piggybacking off of something that is definitely out here, but may need a little push, if you will, and a little more help. And you're putting your piece in the puzzle of this. what would you like the outcome of this thing to be?
That's an excellent question. You know, my heart with anything that I do, Nick, is to eventually, if not franchise it out, to grow the inspiration so that other people can have the same experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so really that's it, because, you know, I know that there are people out there that are no different than us, that we have big hearts and big visions, and we want to be successful, we want to be known. And it just takes sometimes coming together, working together, instead of, tearing down, what someone's doing because they're, maybe a little bit more adventurous or a little bit more, focused on what they want to do in life. So as my wish as an African-American female would be to kind of inspire that same thing across, the universe. I'm thinking universally, not just, within Fort Wayne. I would really love to see it, if not franchised out, just, inspire other people to do maybe similar things in their area. So, very good question. I really appreciate you asking me that.
Wow. And before we take a quick break here from our sponsor, where you mentioned Fort Wayne, where exactly are you located?
I am in the Midwest, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and, I hope to move in the future. I think my spirit is telling me I need to maybe expand a little bit, and so I have been praying that, God will eventually expand my territory, because I want to reach people beyond the state. If it's public speaking, franchising out the workshops or the Diva Lounge or some of the other events that I've done, just, more or less, I am in the Midwest, but I don't think that, I need to limit myself to that. I think in the future I can see myself, being in multiple places.
Wow. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll resume here in a few moments with Kim Wiley, owner of AGAPE by Design and certified event planner, after a brief message from our sponsor. Welcome back to DLUXS.com, an online magazine and network highlighting everything beautiful in the areas of music, film, food, and fashion. We're here with Ms. Kim Wiley, owner of AGAPE by Design and certified event planner. This second segment of our interview, Kim, and once again, I want to thank you for joining us again. I want to talk about your event planning, the skills and what you bring to event planning.
Sure, that's no problem. Yeah, really just kind of talk about my background. I did obtain my certification in event planning. It was through an online opportunity, and I completed that, and it was probably in fewer than 4 months. It was fairly quick. But I was very focused, and basically ended up graduating that program with honors and had a letter of recommendation, and so here I am today. Wow.
How did you, what led you to event planning? I mean, of course, from the first segment, with all that you do with the workshops and the publishing and things of that nature, it's inherent in what you do. But what brought you to actually take that step, and that's a pretty crucial step, because most of us, wouldn't choose to be certified for whatever reason, whether good or bad, and, no judgment. But what made Miss Kim Wiley, really endeavor in being certified as an event planner?
Well, I'm a very creative person, Nick, and I just really wanted to challenge myself. At the time, I was in a relationship that, in all honesty, it was not supportive, and, I knew I wanted more for myself and for my children, and so I wanted to challenge myself just to see if I could do it. I was in a job position where I was as it basically was a job title of kind of like event planner for the hospital that I worked at. Event coordinator, I guess, was the official title. And I actually did it because my job was willing to reimburse me once I completed the program. So they did offer the tuition reimbursement. And then the place where I received my certification, they offered a scholarship. I just had to write an essay on why I wanted to pursue my certification in event planning, and I did get the scholarship. I did get tuition reimbursement because I completed the program, with honors. And so it was really just, to answer your question, to challenge myself and and to kind of prove that I could do it, because I was in a negative, relationship where I didn't have the support, and I was being told, a lot of negative things, and I just didn't want to believe that and settle for that. So out of a challenge to myself. It's basically, really, that's the truth.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, it really is. It sounds like that you took a negative experience and used it as, an impetus to better yourself, as well as heal, and I think that's a model that all of us can definitely learn from, which will kind of, I want to segue to my next question. For the young sisters out there, irrespective of color, creed, orientation, or whatever,
well, sure.
What, if you could have one thing that you would say to them, what would you say? What would be some words of wisdom that you would impart?
Oh, my goodness, I know exactly what to say. And I'm going to tell you, this is something that I have. I'm looking at it right now on my walls, and it's from Erykah Badu. I was reading a magazine, and she had this awesome quote. So powerful, it just made me, almost moved me to tears because it's so beautiful. And this is what I would share with them. It's exactly what I read. And it's basically, know your creator, know yourself, love them both, feel your power, master yourself, watch your tongue, where's your crown, wear your crown. And that's it, just those words, because that says it all, Because sometimes we forget, we forget a lot of the things that I just, spoke on, and that was just something that I read, and it was very powerful to me, so I would share that with them.
Wow, that definitely is powerful, that definitely is powerful, and now that you've given that answer, it really applies to male, female, or other animals, plants, if you will. Everything, under the sun, if you will. That's very powerful.
Well, sure it does, because life is very heavy, and, we all have the pulls, but we have to remember, we have a choice, if we get our crown where it falls or something, and we have to pick it back up and wear it, remember that we are kings and queens. Wow,
that's powerful. And before we close here, I have one more question. You had mentioned before about the program of Kindred Spirits and basically surrounding oneself with friends that are supportive, friends, families, extended or otherwise, that are supportive. How important, I kind of want you to touch on that a little deeper. How important is it to surround yourself with like-minded individuals?
It is vital. It's almost like air to me. Really, it's like air. That's the best way I can describe it. I think that we all need nutritious people in our life, people that are going to make us feel, that we can do things, be supportive. And so I think it's just completely the most important thing that you could even gift to yourself, is to keep people around you that are going to uplift you and build you up and not tear you down. And that takes a lot of courage, because so many of us were taught to kind of settle and, to fit into someone else's life, instead of creating our own life. We're not taught to dream and, reach beyond. And so that would be it.
Wow. Well, Kim, your courage is definitely inspiring. And, I've known you for some time, and, once again, I would definitely vouch that you are definitely a powerful sister, and you're doing great work in the community. And you used the word universal, end quote, earlier, and it's definitely felt, your passion for what you do. And I've seen results in the outcomes of your programs. It really touches a lot of individuals in a way that I don't really think can be measured by traditional standards or instruments, if you will, other than the fact that when they leave out of there, they feel a lot more wholesome, which I'm sure that those who will be listening to this interview, I think that will transfer and translate to them as well. So I definitely want to, tip my hat to you and say, definitely stay courageous and keep doing what you're doing. And for those up there that may not be familiar with AGAPE by Design, how will we find you? What's your contact information?
Sure. Well, I have a few pieces of information to share with you. I want to give you the most important, easiest way to get in touch with me would be, of course, my email, and that is simply, it's just Wiley, Wiley, 912 @gmail.com. I check my email all the time, so that's really the best way. I'm also on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook through AGAPE by Design, and that's AGAPE, and also at Kim Wiley. AGAPE is basically the highest form of love, and so I changed my business name to that because I was outgrowing the Aphrodite's creation. So Facebook, AGAPE by Design. I'm on Twitter also at Kim Wiley 2, and then by phone 260-267-2593. And then I also have a blog that I do. I believe in journaling, pen to paper, but someone did ask me to have a blog spot, and so I'm at Sui Generous 1, and that's spelled SUI-GENERIS 1.blogspot.com. So those are the different ways that people can get in touch with me, and I'm very open. I have a great big heart, so people can ask me anything, and I'll probably answer.
All right. Well, Kim, thank you so much for being a part of this interview once again. I really appreciate all the work you're doing for the community, and wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure you'll be very successful in all your endeavors.
Oh, thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate that, and you as well. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Anytime, and I'm sure we'll be bringing you back on here pretty soon. And for our deluxe listeners out there, we will also have a written component to this interview with all of the contact information and a more robust written version and text version of this interview as well, which we will have some of those photos, which Kim has promised to show us in regards to the life map and the journaling, the image journaling for men, as well as hopefully we can get some photos from kindred spirits as well. So, Kim, once again, thank you very much and have a great night.
Oh, thank you, Nick. You be blessed as well.